Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Boris Benavides. My classmate is Teresa Magdalena Lopez Sanchez, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the three sectors of the economy. We have these three sectors of the economy, and we have that information that they are like divisions of the economic activities according to the common characteristics that we have. We have three difference, and we have the primary sector. This one includes all the activities for obtaining like natural resources. This is linked to the agricultural, fishing, mining, and forestry subsectors. We have agriculture. This is the first one, and this has continued to play like a key role in the Salvadorian economy, employing nearly 25% of the country's labor force, providing like a third of its export earnings and made it about 17% of the domestic food needs. This is an important one, but I think that it's like kind of difficult because a lot of kids are working on this area because their parents are like sending their kids to work every single day and this, and they also don't want that their kids has to go to the school. And I think that for that reason, it's very sad. And then we have the forestry mining. El Salvador is like considered the most deforested country in Central America, but national efforts to protect remaining forests appear to be on the upside in the tiny country. We have a little place which is Sinquera, like it's a small town in the northern from Salvador, and this place has created its own forest, preserved and attracted to the attention of the national government. And then we have fishery. I think that it's one of the most environment degrading nations in Latin America because a lot of people, young people, are like moving on to the United States because they want to earn more money. And for that reason, probably fishery is totally different because it used to be like a lot of people used to work in this area, but the young people don't want to work if they don't know who they are working with. I think that it's really sad because more younger fishers than older fishers had fathers or male kin who were also fishers. Like young men were less likely to join fishing without a parent or a kind already involved. And things used to be very different, but everything is changing and it's like really sad. Then we have some pictures in here about this primary sector. And then we have the tertiary sector, and it's like a sector of the commerce and provision of services, and it's where the distribution and commercialization begins. We have the first one, which is trade. This is a very important one because El Salvador depends from other countries like United States and Guatemala. Trade is something like it's very hard because every single year is like a new challenge, and because of the COVID-19, think that it's like a sad situation. A lot of people, um, they have to stay at home, but they had to work every single day to earn money, and I think that everyone was like falling down for that reasons because we have to wait like for the people that are is selling something, like they're like selling vegetables or something like that. They're like making money every single day, but with the COVID-19 I think that the trade was like um, falling apart, and it's really sad. Then we have the bank. And another thing about this is that I think everyone is like trying to earn money or have money to pay something, but a lot of people are like borrow money from the banks using credit cards, and they don't have an idea that they have to pay extra for this situations. I think that everyone has to like explain to them how it works because the future it will be like kind of difficult. I know that everyone is like trying to buy a new house or buying a new car, but you have to know how it works, how the banks work, because it will be like very hard. And that's the most common reason why a lot of people is like uh, moving on to the United States, because they have to pay the money that they borrow from the banks. And finally, we have the transportation. I think that this is a sad one, because you're not safe in the transportation in El Salvador, because there's like about people, they are trying like to steal your cell phone, your money. And even though if we have like a taxi or an Uber, you are not, you don't know who they are, because probably if you're like a girl, you are in a very dangerous position, because if you read the newspaper or something like that, every single day is like someone is dying because they were like in the Uber or in a taxi and a bad person killed them. And I think that it's really sad, because you're not safe in those transportations. And even though if it's a car, you're not safe in there. You have to take care of yourself, because we're living in a dangerous country, and every single day is happening something new. And that's the reason why I think that it's every single year is a new challenge, and we have to take care of ourselves and do how much as we can. This is my participation in this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.
Hello everyone, my name is Teresa Magdalena Lopez Sanchez, and in today's video, my classmate Boris Alberto Ayala Benavides and I are going to explain you about the three sectors of the economy. And my classmate before explained about the primary sector, and I'm going to explain you about the secondary sector and a little more about the tertiary sector. So we are going to start with the presentation. Sorry, I'm sick. So the three sectors of economy are the primary sector, the secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. The economic sector facilitates the analysis and study of economic production, as they allow the classification of similar activities that compete with each other or complement each other. So the secondary sector includes companies and jobs that transform raw materials into finished products, adding value. The industrial sector is part of it, both light and heavy industry. Some products of the secondary sector are footwear, electronics, furniture, and beauty products, plastic, clothing, automobiles, etc. So the sector of the industry transforms the raw material extracted or produced by the primary sector into customer products or capital goods. Goods, that is to say, while the primary sector is limited to directly obtaining the resources of nature, the secondary sector executes industrial procedures to transform these resources. In this sector, industrial activities, construction, food processing, the naval, and now aeronautical industry stand out. The characteristic of the secondary sector. Um, in this sector, uses machinery and automated production processes and transform raw materials into goods. Depends on the primary sector of the economy, comprises all the activities included in the economy of a country, and it's made up of industry and construction. The main component of the secondary sector is industry, and also uses machine powered by energy for the production of goods. also uses different sources of renewable and non-renewable energy and needs human resources to function and also need a capital to make it good. The reality of the secondary activities in El Salvador is that the industrial activity represents 96.9% of total Salvadorian export. So it is important that the public policies are aimed at improving the conditions to invest, undertake and generate jobs from the industrial sector. The most representative industrial sector are the export of the textile and clothing sector, which represent 45.8% of the total export by the country, followed by food export, which represent 20.8%, and in third place, the plastic sector with 6.4%. The main industries in El Salvador are food processing, beverage, chemical productions, fertilizers, textile, furniture, and like metal. So, the tertiary sector, as my classmate explained before, is defined as the sector of commerce and provision of service. So, the characteristics about the tertiary sector are the activities in the field of transport, the humanly characteristic treatment of people who focus on this area, the information and communication technologies have given a radical change to the world of work since they have allowed the creation of new works. So, the reality of the tertiary sector in El Salvador about the education, the culture, and health is that El Salvador currently spends about 850 million dollars per year in education as budget goes. And if this is with external aid, loans, and other contributions, the ministry handles something like $950 million annually in education public. The student population in the public sector is of the order of 1.7 million students, including the population in higher education. So the country spends an average of 550 per student dollars per student in per year in public education. That is about $55 per month per student. This is certainly not much, but in the same way, certainly it's not little if we compare it with average cost of education of private education. So eliminating the extreme terms that are given to make the measures of central tendencies practice reliable, for now, El Salvador is a country inhabited by more than 6 million people, and it is dollarized, and its economic participation structure is divided mainly between service activities that represents the 69.3% and the manufacturing industries that represent the 60 16.1%, and agricultural activities that represents the 5.9%. The president of the Central Reserve Bank, Carlos Federico Paredes, assures that the service sector is one of that contributes the most to the country's economy. And I think that's all. Thank you for your attention. Bye.